This is my better side. I'm gonna have to practice first. Who is that B? It's me, bitches. Am I allowed to cuss?
It's your channel.
I can say whatever I want. I really want all of this as part of it. So, Who Is That Bee has been a long time coming. This title was coined back in 2021. I see the swivel thing. Do it. Can Matthew hear us? Is he watching us? Oh, he's not? Okay. Wow. That honestly, I don't know why I feel a little bit more relieved. All right, so came up with Who Is That Bee Talking To back in 2021, literally right before the most epic crisis of my life. All right, I was down in the trenches. It was rough that year, but we're not gonna get into that. Who Is That Bee started off as an idea to interview community leaders and to get in touch with local creatives and artists in Las Vegas. However, the show evolved because I wanted to tap into journalism kind of and do more writing, more in-depth pieces on specific artists and specific songs that I was listening to. But then I got busy with other things. I graduated college.
Graduates, please stand. Take your tassel and move it from the right to the left and let the world know you're UNLV.
I got a big girl job. That was probably one of the biggest moments of my life. Yeah, and so then I started writing I'm having a moment. I started writing about hip hop again and music, and I was literally stumped because I was like, what is with my fascination with hip hop? Like, why am I so attracted to it and so moved by it that I'm compelled to talk about it? And I realized that hip hop has significant roots for me, and most notably rap music. So when I was 5 years old, hip hop was actually one of the first encounters that I had with American culture. And I vividly remember hearing Explosive by Dr. Dre. And I just remember the sound was just such a force. It was like nothing I had ever heard before. I mean, and I was 5, so like but it was very impressionable. And it had this coolness, this edge, and just this undeniable energy that was difficult to ignore. And in fact, I did continue to, it's real quick. This is why they say you shouldn't write out what you're gonna say because you're not gonna remember everything. Let's see. How am I doing?
I'm learning a lot.
So as I grew older, my understanding of hip hop also grew along with me. I became curious and even more fascinated with the way hip hop, and more specifically rap music, translated real life issues like racism, poverty, crime. Hip hop was also one of my first acts of rebellion, I would say. I grew up in a very sheltered, traditional household, like very, very, very much Catholic. So, hip hop and rap music was, I guess, a way for me to tap into taboo topics that were never brought up or talked about at home, like street life, sexuality, gender roles even, and also something about the rags to riches story that really interested me. You know, you see rap videos and you see rappers, whether it's male rappers or female rappers, and they're just like iced out, and then they got the designer, they got the cars, and they got the flashiness, and you just kind of like, oh, I want that. How do I get that lifestyle? So then when I got into college, I majored in communication studies, and I kid you not, I was like 17, 18. No, I was 18. I was 18, and I was like, what should I major in? I literally had no clue. I'm so grateful this one lady stayed after school with a group of us to help us apply to college. Like, I don't think I'd be where I am today if it wasn't for that moment. But anyway, I remember looking through the programs and thinking, like, what do I want to major in? And so I'm like reading through them. I'm thinking maybe psychology, because at one point I wanted to be a psychologist, like when I was 14 for some reason. Then I saw communication studies, and I'm like, my reasoning was legit. Well, I like talking, so I might as well just go for communication. And honestly, it was a great choice. That's where I've learned the criteria through which I look at music and the way my ears are tuned in to picking up on certain elements. I learned it through the analytical frameworks that I learned in college. And I know that sounds super fancy, and I'm trying to get better at explaining it in a way that makes more sense, because truthfully, academic jargon sometimes is a little unnecessary, which is part of why I wanted to make this show, because I want to be able to share the things that I learned, or some of the things that I learned, and kind of bridge that gap and just make it more accessible to a broader public. And also, you can't tell me I didn't make the right choice, because look, I'm here right now yapping. Okay, wait, hold on. Backtrack. So one thing that really stood out to me as I was writing some of the think pieces for this show and is the concern of, am I glorifying the negative themes in rap music? I can't ignore that part of the music. I can't ignore the exploitation of women, the talk about violence and drug use, and artists are going to continue making this music. And demonizing it isn't really helping anybody. And that's why I want to be able to have discussions about the music that I love, while critically analyzing it at the same time, and utilizing the different ideas that I learned in college or in just along the way in my own life, and the things that I've seen and the people I've talked to, and just incorporating that all into this show. And my hope is also to be able to share music and talk about it. You know what, too, though? Not everyone is as privileged to be able to tap into the arts and to get a proper education. Like, have you guys seen our schools out here in Nevada? We literally rank like 48, 49 every year. The school administration, like, where does the money go? Am I right? So I just, I want to get, it's like, okay, yes, I'm listening to, okay, let's see, Siete Gang Yabby. And if you know who he is, then you know what's up. If you don't, you gotta stay tuned, because I'll be talking about him, because he's been my newest favorite rapper. When I'm into an artist, I literally go all the way in. Like, I'm just so tuned in. I'm looking at like their life story, I'm looking at their sound, their delivery, just what they talk about. Like, I look for themes in their lyrics, so I can get really passionate when I like an artist. But this is also why I want to have Uncle Rick up in the mix, so every time that I have a guest, Unc could be like, yeah, we fucking with this, or nah, this shit is garbage, give that full rounded, unbiased kind of vibe. Unc is gonna be joining me down the road. He is a literal music connoisseur, and I say artist so vaguely, but I have like specific people in mind, and I guess I could name drop. Should I name drop? He said I should name drop. Just kidding. He shrugged. You know what? I'm a name drop. I don't even at this point. And we got Seth Lagana. He's a personal trainer. Gigi Ruiz. She the homegirl. Ian Shen. He's also a life coach. Hi, Matthew. And then we got Nicole Solomon. Then we got my aunt. And last but not least, Jean Munson, who is a local Las Vegas comic artist. She's done so many things, and I could probably go on and on with her, but she's just probably one of my favorite people. Well, a lot of these people are, but I can't do these people justice right now. Like, I have to set up a nice, like a nice little intro for everybody. But I can't wait to share with you all what's on the queue and what's in the vault. And I hope that you all take something from this. And yeah, love you guys. Mama, I made it. All right. Yeah.